What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and let's talk about Luna. Now, I gotta tell you guys, aesthetically, I think Luna looks amazing. This is one beautiful looking uniform, but she really is a little bit more than that. She didn't really get the increase that I really would like to see as far as her upgrades, but it's still pretty damn good. This uniform is an upgrade over her previous uniform. It is stronger, and I think that you'll find with it is that it has more consistent damage than the previous uniform. I think that's going to be the big difference for a lot of players, but it just looks gorgeous. And the only things they really did for this uniform is they changed the 4-star passive. Let me see if I can find it here. They changed the 4-star passive, giving her this increase of all basic attack by 10%, then they increased the defenses and all speed. However, before she had the 60% chance to reset skills. Now, some people like this, some people don't. It's really going to depend on your perception on what you prefer. Personally, I like the new way because this was an activation rate of 60% chance, which I don't like. I don't like any kind of RNG factor involved whenever I'm trying to play with a character. I mean, there's skill involved, but there's also a little bit of luck involved whenever you're playing with something like this. And I just never really cared for it personally. It was, I mean, it was a good idea, but if it had been 100% chance, it would have been way, way better. It would have rewarded skilled players a little bit more, I think, because you still just had that 60% chance. And now we're loading up for a long time. And then we have the uniform effect, which actually increases cold damage by 25%, whereas her previous one increases cold damage by 15%. So she gets an extra 10% cold damage. She gets an extra 10% increase to her attack. So she gets a little bit of a buff. But what you'll find with this character is that she does really play much more consistent than the previous character because the skills are being reset. You have a set rotation where you're actually playing with her. Unfortunately, she's still very rage or judgment viable. I don't think the character's going to play well with a proc at all, and that is a disappointment. But I got to tell you, man, whenever you play with Luna and you look at her animations, I mean, you might really love this uniform. I think it's really, really beautiful, and these animations are just gorgeous. Like, I love this force skill. This is sick, and you can pretty much almost instant cancel. You can instant cancel the 5, and you can almost instant cancel the 4. I mean, you can't go too fast, but you can hit it. Yeah, see, I still need to let it play a little bit longer. There we go. As soon as the icicles pop up out of the ground, then you can go into your other skills. You got the second skill here, which you actually got to let it play out a little bit so you can get all the damage from it, all that residual damage. And I really like the mist that's coming around, that fog. That's a nice touch. And then the one skill, really cool. I like that purple that's involved in there. I mean, it's really, really beautiful as far as their animation, just gorgeous. But this uniform really is a step up. It really is. And I think you're going to see that in the comparison today. As far as her rotation, it's pretty simple. It's really just 1, 5, 4, 2, let it play a little bit, then hit the 3, then go 1, 2, let it play a little bit. Then after you do that rotation, then what you're going to do is you're going to go 5, 4, hit your tier 3, 2, let it play a little bit, then hit your 3, and then go back into your 1, and then your 2, and you're going to start your rotation all over again. It's pretty simple once you get the gist of it. It's not bad at all. But honestly, I'm having a lot more fun in this uniform. I mean, I thought I was going to have a bit of a downer attitude, but once you get the rotation down a little bit and you play her a little bit, she's actually pretty damn fun. And, you know, as far as the build, I mean, you know, 38,000 energy attack, pretty much max attack stats for the most part. And this here is going to be really, really important. Now that we can get White Fox to tier 3, this is really going to make characters like Luna and Shirag, Crescent, all these characters so much better, which unfortunately I don't have. So some of the clears that you guys probably have seen on these other videos, you know, they're using White Fox, they're using Wave, 2 characters which I don't have, who offer an insane amount of damage to super villains. Unfortunately, so I'm going to have to use a weaker team in the runs that you're going to see today, but she does have a fully awakened Power of Angry Hulk set, and then of course the Rage, and then a normal ranked uniform. And honestly, man, with White Fox, you can find old girl here real quick. This, I mean, if you have her newest uniform, you really are loving life. Unfortunately, I was boycotting whenever this uniform was available, so I didn't buy it. But I mean, this thing gives an extra 5% more all attack than this one right here, and it gives chain hit damage on top of the ignore target dodge rate by 30%. And that's very important, especially for a character like Luna, because Luna doesn't have any ignore dodge in her kit. Nothing at all. And because you got to play with a CTP of Judgment or a Rage, you're not going to gain any extra ignore dodge from your Obelisk. So you're going to have to use some ignore dodge strikers and, you know, characters on your team that are going to offer that extra ignore dodge. And yeah, this is going to be really big for her. And Valkyrie, unfortunately, is an alien. So you can't use her in certain stages where you can actually use White Fox, who's a human. So having this character and really having this uniform is really, really going to benefit, you know, those characters with leadership. It does make a huge difference in the damage that they do. I mean, it's just massive. So we'll go into World Boss here. And we'll take on old Null here. Now, we're just going to be doing Null today on this comparison. But we're just going to do stage 9. Now, the thing is, you know, from 10 to 14, it's all male. So I can't use Luna, obviously. And then from 15 to 19, it's all human. And so, unfortunately, I had to use this team right here. Now, I'm using Doctor Strange for this ignore target dodge rate by 20%. And then, of course, they increase the energy attack by 30%. And then we got Taskmaster for the, you know, 40% damage to super villains. You know, and honestly, you know, if you had Wave, who's 50% damage to super villains, if you had White Fox, it's 65% in her newest uniform, or 60% in the other uniform that she has, it would make a huge difference in her damage. But unfortunately, this is what I'm going to be running with. And as far as strikers, we're going to use 3 ignore dodge strikers along with Doctor Strange's leadership. That's going to give us 80% ignore dodge. And then we got Crescent and White Fox for damage to super villains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the first run with the old uniform. So let's check this thing out. We'll bring that up. All right. And I'm telling you, the damage over time between these two uniforms is pretty insane. You know, I just start with the 1, and then I go into 5-4, and then 2-3. Now, something about Luna that really sucks is she has no invincibility. She has nothing on her tier 3. She has nothing in her skills. And I think that's kind of a shame. I really wish that Netmarble would have gave her a little invincibility, because she does get knocked back a lot whenever she's facing Null. And it's actually quite annoying, right? It kind of sucks. It really does. But, I mean, it is what it is. It's a part of her kit. It's the way she plays. All right. So you got to be real careful when you're playing with this character. And I'm just going to show you guys how much damage we do in the actual, just the first phase of this fight, right? Just the first phase, and now I'll just kind of fast forward it to the end to show you how long it took to do the entire run. Now remember, this uniform is at Mythic, right? I mean, it's leveled up versus her other uniform that's just at normal. So that will make a pretty big difference in the amount of damage that we're doing. All right, and we're just about there. We just about cleared it here. Okay, so about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So it took about 1 minute and 10 seconds to do the first phase with this uniform. And if we go all the way to the end, right? We go all the way to the end. You can see that we had about, 30 seconds to spare, right? Well, about 26 seconds. We'll just say about 30 seconds to spare. Okay, so it took 1 minute and 10 seconds to do the first phase, and it took 4.5 minutes to do the entire run. So now I'll go ahead and pull up this next run that I did with our newest uniform so you guys can see the damage comparison differences. All right, let's do it. So it's just, 1, 5, 4, 2, let the 2 play a little bit, and then go into the 3. And that's what I mean by, getting knocked back. That's kind of the annoying thing about playing with Luna. I do wish they would have gave her a little bit more damage. I mean, this is a substantial upgrade, I'm telling you. Especially when you see how fast she does this entire clear. Get him, girl. I mean, Luna, she does pretty good. I don't know if this is going to be better in ABX. I have no idea. I would imagine that it will be, but I'm not really for sure. Come on. And it's always, with these runs, there's always a lot of variables. Maybe you'll have a really good run with one uniform. Maybe you'll have a bad run with the other uniform. But I did play the runs a few times to try to get the best runs I could. There we go. And you can see right now that the Sirius uniform is pretty much on the same level as the old uniform. Even though it's even at normal, right? Come on, come on, come on, come on. It is nice that she's got iframe. So right there, you can see that, it was about 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So about the same amount of time for the first phase. And this is the reason I wanted to show you the full runs, because you really do see a bigger difference with damage over time. And that's really where this new uniform is actually shining. So you'll see just what the difference is. Remember, we had about 30 seconds left on the previous uniform that we ran. We'll see how much time we have left with this one here. And the thing is, whenever Null's getting right in front of you, it's always good to really flip over them with your 1, but a lot of times I just use my tier 3 if it's ready. But I really wish they'd gave her invincibility. That would have been a nice touch. It really would have, because Luna's already got a lot of survivability with the heals on her 5 and her 4 and her tier 3. I mean, she's got heals galore all over her. But she's still a pretty fragile character, even though with her heals, because she doesn't have any decreased damage received. Now, you can get decreased damage received from having Wave on the team, and I believe White Fox as well. I mean, that would make a little bit of difference, would make her a little bit tankier. I mean, seriously, man, White Fox's stocks has really went up big time, considering like these upgrades for these characters. Even though they might not be a huge upgrade, it's significant enough to where when you're getting an extra 60-65% damage to supervillains, it really does make a pretty big difference. Oh, melt away. I mean, look at her, man. We're going into the next phase. Nice. Very, very nice. I mean, it's the same team. It's the same strikers. Nothing's different at all, right? Except for the fact I'm using a new uniform that's only normal rank, right? We don't even have all those extra stats. Nothing like that. It's pretty impressive, honestly. I mean, you can see the time that she's doing this already. It's pretty wild. And like I said, she just seems to have more consistent damage playing in this uniform. It seems to be a lot more consistent. Whoa, get out of there, get out of there. I'm afraid to be in there. It might take a little too much damage, although at stage 9, probably wouldn't have to worry about it too much, but I just play it safe a little bit with Luna. I mean, she's pretty fragile. She doesn't have any decreased damage received with the team that I'm using at all. Okay, come on over here. All right, we're going to do our little flip, get over them. We want to save our tier 3. And now we're going to the next phase. Now, here's the part that I really hate about the fact that she does have invincibility. You can't attack right now. Like, you can throw in a couple skills if you want to get them off cooldown and try to charge up your tier 3 really fast. But other than that, you really can't do anything because Null will just guard break you and knock you away. So you have to wait till the next phase. So it's really important to have your tier 3 ready, I think. So you can do a crap ton of damage all at once. I mean, yeah. And I want you to look at this. Now look at that. 1:25. She did this a minute faster with the newest uniform. And that's what I mean by consistent damage. Even though in the first phase, they were pretty much neck and neck, right? Throughout the entire fight, this version of Luna, the Sirius uniform, actually is just, it has more competent damage. It has more consistent damage throughout the fight, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that shows you that she's got a pretty amazing upgrade. I mean, it's not like God tier upgrade, but man, it's really good. Honestly, a minute difference, that's a pretty decent upgrade, especially considering the fact that I'm using a normal ranked uniform versus a mythic uniform. I mean, that's a pretty big upgrade. And, and so she's more than just beauty. She's more than just aesthetics. She's actually quite the upgrade. Now, I think for a lot of players out there, more than likely, they're just going to wait till Black Friday to pick up this uniform. But I do think it's a pretty decent upgrade. I'm not going to say I'm happy with it. I would like a little bit more damage. I'd like a little bit more. I'm not going to lie, for World Boss Legend. But I do think it's definitely a significant upgrade compared to what it was, obviously, from what you all just saw. So I'm actually really loving the uniform just because of the beauty of it, just because of the aesthetics and the animations. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I really do enjoy playing this uniform. So let me know how you're all feeling about the Sirius uniform, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time. The link will be in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.